Well, at college at Fisk, we had no African American students that I can. We had no white students. They were all African American. Uh, but we had a faculty that was at least 45 to 50% white, and many of them treated us as though we were human beings on every level of equality with them. Uh, my mentor at Fisk was a young white professor who loved me as dearly as he loved any son that he might have had, and who treated me with great respect and equality, and who saw in me as much promise as he saw in anyone, as he could have seen in anyone, because it was he who first gave me some notion that I had talents that would take me beyond the limits of race.
Was that a difficult relationship for you to be comfortable in initially?
No, I was not. I was not uncomfortable. I experienced no discomfort in relationships. I don't require that people be my color. I don't require that people be my class or anything like that. I simply take people for what they are. I always have, always will.
Despite coming out of the kind of environment you came out of, and not being regularly around white people who treated you well, and you were in this relationship with this man who treated you, as you said, as his son. And it didn't seem...
As his older brother, he was only 12 years older than I am.
And that was, for you, even initially, a natural kind of relationship to be in?
I know of no relationship that I've ever had that was more natural than the relationship with him. And I didn't feel one moment of awkwardness, not at all. I would say that it's a credit to him that he was able to achieve that level of trust and confidence that I had in him. He certainly must have inspired it, and caused me to feel absolutely comfortable. But that was the way it was, and I felt absolutely comfortable. I have never felt uncomfortable around people of another race. Never. And
Why?
I don't know why. I don't know why. I simply look at them with, I don't look at them as being different particularly. I'll give you an example of my absolutely being dumbfounded at this kind of experience that people were having in my presence. When I was a professor at the University of Chicago, I was already the John Matthews Manley Distinguished Service Professor at the University of Chicago. And I was lecturing to an undergraduate group of students, my class. I always insisted on teaching an undergraduate class at Chicago, although I didn't have to. And I was teaching in a very small amphitheater, because Chicago does not have large classes, but this was 60 or 70 students. And there were we were in the little amphitheater. I was down front, and the tiers of rows went up to the back of the room. And when the person came in the room, he had to come down to sit on one of the rows. And I was in the middle of one of my lectures. And an African-American student came in. I had about 8 or 10 African-American students in this class of, say, 50 or 60. And the student stood in the back of the room looking for, I did not know what, but I was lecturing, but watching her. And then she saw the row of students who were African American. And she came down the steps, and they were all to the aisle, and she had to climb over the students to get in that row to sit by another African American student. I lost my train of thought. I could not understand what she was doing or what this did for her or to her, what this meant to her. I simply did not. I thought she might have made herself comfortable anywhere in the room. When I was in graduate school, I didn't have that problem anyway, because there were no blacks in any class that I went to, and I just came in and sat myself down wherever I wanted to. And I did not understand that she got some satisfaction, some comfort in sitting next to an African American. I said that to indicate to you that I was absolutely dumbfounded. Maybe I shouldn't have been, but I was.
Are you
And
still?
I'm back to the point now, I go back to the point that I was trying to make, that I was not at all uncomfortable in my relationship with this person. And I thought that students ought to feel comfortable. I know that they don't. I know there are reasons why they don't. But I had no reason to feel uncomfortable with Theodore Currier, who was his name, of my professor. And I was not uncomfortable with him. And from that point on, we ate together, not regularly, not meals regularly, but we ate together whenever. He took me riding. He mentored me. Then he pointed me for Harvard, and very deliberately. He said, "I want you to go to Harvard." And he saw in me some things that I should do that he hadn't done in his own life, and he protected himself, I think, into my life. And I think one of the great motivations for his bringing Phi Beta Kappa to Fisk was to get me in Phi Beta Kappa. And he expressed such great confidence in me that I just moved right on without any goals. That I never have had any goals in life except to do extremely well as I can do. But I haven't said I'm going to be a professor at this school or that school, or I'm going to be president of this or that. Never have I. I'm without ambition in that sense. But I've always worked hard and tried to do the best I could, and I would let the rest take care of itself.